I'm Katie Payne with Coldwell Banker Reilly and Sons, and I've asked Jill Dickason, a interior designer, to join us today to talk about paint. So welcome, Jill. It's great to see you, and I appreciate you giving me some time today to chat about paint and interior design.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Jill is, she's the one who did the model homes at West Glen, which is a Reilly Homes community, and the model homes are beautiful. I encourage you to go out and check them out if you haven't. Not only will you see the exciting community that Reilly Homes is working on, but you'll also walk away with some design tips, I'm sure of it. So thanks, Jill, for joining us. So my question for you today is, what are the popular choices in paint? Are we getting away from gray, or are we going to see gray around for longer?
Okay, so sure. So paint is one of my favorite design elements that go into it because it can really transform your home. I mean, you can take a room from a 5 to a 10 easily with some paint and completely change it. So, but it is probably one of the most fickle products I've ever worked with. So selecting it, and I can give some more tips towards the end, but yeah, it can be a touchy product, basically. I think the popular colors right now are kind of like the creams, and then creams and whites. So many homes are going up with the cream and white, you know, and you see these pictures on Instagram and all them, and it looks so good and crisp, but you have to have warm elements or you're going to feel like you're in like a hospital. So a lot of those it's finding that good shade that has the warmth in it still. I see a lot of deep, saturated, rich colors, like those deep navies, those deep greens, even black. People are painting like one wall a black color. And then the contrast of the white coming off of it, I see is really huge. The Pantone color this year is called Classic Blue, and it's supposed to have this calm confidence feel. They say it's like the sky at dusk, but it's also kind of a rich color as well. So it's not like an airy, breezy color. It's pretty deep, rich color. But that's kind of what I'm seeing the most is still the creams and the whites. And then as far as gray goes, I love gray. Gray is a neutral to me. It falls in the cream, white, gray category. I feel like maybe it is what you're right. We're kind of getting away from it in the sense that, you know how there was so many gray woods out there, and I feel like a lot of the kitchens kind of are going to those pale blonde wood tones, like the white hickory or pine kind of feel, and creams look really good coming off of that. So maybe in a way, but I still feel like gray is here. If you love gray, go for it. One of my favorite colors is kind of a gray and a beige together, so like a grayish. Right. So, and there's a Sherwin-Williams one called Colonnade Gray, and it's one of my favorite colors. Now, in your home, it may look totally different than your girlfriend's home, because in certain light, I mean, that's why it's a fickle product, because in certain lighting, it may go more beige and then it may go more green in another room. So, but I love gray. I think it's always going to be around, but maybe it's not as, I mean, I feel like for a while, everything was gray, like everything. So it's kind of refreshing to have another color palette come into the mix. So a few tips really fast. You know, there is a product called Magnolia Homes. It's the Joanna Gaines. Right. I love her paints because instead of having 1,000 paint colors and about 25% that you really should put on your walls, right, she narrows it down for you. I mean, she just has beautiful colors that you can select from. So if you're like thinking, oh, you know, I want to paint my dining room in navy blue, she probably has like 3 or 4 solid, awesome navy blue ideas. So your brain isn't looking through like every shade of blue, right, this little itty bitty sample. And that leads me to my next one is always get a sample. Never go and buy gallons of paint based off that little sample. So one of the tricks that I do is I get a big poster board, like, you know, one of those 20 by 30 inch poster boards, get your sample, your $7 sample, wherever, and paint that whole board, and then two coats, and then you can move it around your room and see it in different lighting and make sure that is your color and that you love it. Then at that point, you can be confident to go buy your gallons of paint. So, and then probably my one last fun tip would be, your trim, your crown, your casing, your doors, they don't have to be white or cream. They can be colonnade gray, they could be a fun color. So kind of mix it up if you want, and be brave and do something different. Paint's a really fun product that you can kind of do different things with. That's not this huge expense. You can really transform a room and give it tons of character just by changing the paint color.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, great. Well, I appreciate your time today, and we will just be bold and go for colors, and especially to my military families that I work with that have had practice painting, because sometimes you paint in a house and then move away for 2 years later and you just paint back over it. And I think for some of us being military, that moving into a house and thinking, okay, I'm going to paint this room and I'm going to live in it for the next 10 years, and it can be overwhelming. So those tips that you gave are certainly helpful to us when we feel a little bit paralyzed in trying to pick a paint color. And bottom line is you can always paint over it, right, if you don't like it.
That's right. Easy fix.
Yeah. Good. Well, thanks, Jill, for your time today, and we'll meet again to talk some other interior design issues. So thanks.
Thank you. Look forward.